She was banned from every spin-off, totally erased from filming. Yet somehow, Jasmine Pineda still managed to headline every trailer, headline every social post, and stir drama in episodes she didn't even set foot on. How is that possible? What kind of reality show runs on ghost footage? You're watching TLC Drama Files, and I'm your host, OLIVA. If you think you've seen messy, hold tight. This one twists hard. Subscribe if you're done being fooled by edits, and drop your take in the comments. Whose side are you on here, TLC or Jasmine? Because this isn't just messy reality TV, this is a masterclass in cold, silent erasure. So how did Jasmine, one of the most unforgettable personalities 90 Day Fiancé has ever produced, get iced out so quietly while still being pushed as front and center franchise gold? We're talking about someone who didn't fizzle out or fade away. She exploded onto the scene, blazing, and she kept delivering viral moments like it was Tuesday. Yet suddenly, poof, no spin-offs, no live filming, no new contracts. She just disappeared. But you didn't notice, because TLC made sure you were still seeing her everywhere. That's the stunt, the headline. But the real shock is what's underneath. Behind the scenes, Jasmine wasn't just let go. She was reportedly blacklisted, labeled a liability, cut from every upcoming special and spin-off. But right now, she's still in the marketing lineup, still pulling eyes, still emotional clickbait, and all from repurposed footage. Insiders say she's not receiving a dime for it. Not even a heads up before she sees old hairstyling confessionals being dressed up as new content. If that sounds manipulative, congratulations, you're thinking like a producer. Because this, allegedly, is strategy, not sloppiness. TLC saw the house was on fire and thought, why hire a fireman when we can add special effects and keep the flames going forever? And that's the wild part. Jasmine, whether you love her or love to watch her blow up her relationship, is still being used as fuel. Even after the cameras stopped rolling on her. She's been silenced behind the scenes, but made louder than ever in the edit. But this wasn't the most shocking part. What TLC did next will leave you side-eyeing your own screen. You don't stay in the front seat of this franchise by being quiet, composed, or easy to edit. And Jasmine Pineda, she understood that better than anyone. She didn't tiptoe onto the show. She crashed through it. Loud, wild, raw. From the moment she made her debut with Gino, she wasn't there to play nice. She was the fire, the show, and the entire explosion. From her jealous meltdowns over Gino's exes to accusing him of betrayal over a toothbrush, she turned everything into TV gold. And fans ate it up. Jasmine wasn't a side character. She was the headline. The reason people tuned back in. Love her or hate her, she gave the audience emotional whiplash every week, and they came back for more. But behind the scenes, that same unfiltered intensity allegedly had producers stressed, scrambling, and in some cases scared. Sources from inside the production say she could flip fast. Calm one minute, incensed the next. Arguments that started as playful could escalate into full-scale emotional chaos, leaving cameramen caught in the crossfire and crew privately dreading confession days. She lived in extremes, and while that made her addictive to watch, it also meant you never quite knew what you'd get once the mic was hot. And it wasn't just with Gino. Other cast members reportedly refused to film with her. According to insiders, there were too many conflicts off camera that bled into production. Too many moments where things nearly went off the rails. So how do you work with someone like that? Answer, you don't. You cut them out, right? Well, not exactly. Instead of letting Jasmine go quietly, TLC allegedly chose the sneakier, risk-free route. They boxed her out of filming, while dragging her personality back into center stage through careful editing. An old tantrum here, a reworded confessional there. Stir it all up, and boom. Instant drama without ever booking her a flight or writing another check. And let's be real, if she was that dangerous, why keep her in everything? Why center her in promo pictures, social clips, sneak peeks, and last season's cliffhanger trailers? If someone poses too big of a production risk to film with other humans, why is she anchoring your entire content ecosystem? And if you think they removed her cleanly, oh, TLC played a whole different game behind the curtain. Imagine being fired from your job. No notice, no public word. You're told you're too much to handle. You're off the schedule, off the call sheet, off the set. But the next morning, there you are, plastered across the company's timelines. Your voice echoing in every promo. Your face selling the next big episode. All from recycled clips stitched into made-up moments. That's Jasmine Pineda's reality right now. According to multiple insiders, Jasmine has been quietly fired from all 90 Day Fiancé spin-offs. Not a soft suspension. Not a work break. She's allegedly been named a full-blown liability. Producers, cast, maybe even legal? Done with her. And still, there she is, at the front of new season trailers like she's about to walk back into Gino's arms with another deadly side-eye. You scroll through TLC's Twitter or Instagram, and Jasmine's everywhere. Clickbait captions, dramatic clips, confessional shots edited to look like fresh footage. But what fans don't realize is that many of these clips are months, sometimes years, old. Wash, trim, recontextualize, and boom, it's presented as current drama, content that's been fully deconstructed just to draw blood without needing her on set. And here's the kicker, she's not getting paid for it. Not at spin-off rates, not at marketing rates, not even at "we're politely using your old stuff" rates. Because technically, TLC still owns her footage. That means they can clip, crop, and contort it all they want without giving her a check or a voice in the process. Think about the psychology of that. You're barred from participating, banned from giving input, silenced, but your old voice keeps screaming through every platform. Your tearful breakdowns, your messy fights, your confessions filmed under duress, all being used right now to drive traffic, clicks, and profits, all while you're locked out of the building that made you famous. She's not filming anything new, but her digital ghost is working harder than ever. Episode teasers show Jasmine drama heating up. Instagram Reels post confusing, context-free blow-ups. TikTok montages suggest new fights with Gino. None of them are real-time, but they work. Fans react, viewers engage, and Jasmine's chaos pulls them right back in. She may be banned from the building, but she still pays rent in TLC's content lineup. And this isn't negligence. It's precision. TLC knows the audience doesn't always check dates, that most people don't care if a confessional haircut doesn't match the current episode's timeline. They know what sells, and Jasmine sells, and the way they're keeping her storyline alive. It's as chilling as it is clever. Now imagine this. You're watching a brand new preview where Jasmine throws an epic meltdown over Gino hiding something. The music is tense, her eyes are wild, and it looks like another emotional storm is about to hit. But here's the part they don't tell you. Those tears, that fight, that entire scene, it's not new. It's a remix. Welcome to the edit room, the real control center of reality TV. And according to insiders, this is where Jasmine's ghost career was built. Because what we're seeing now isn't reality. It's revenant content. Scenes pulled from confessionals recorded months ago, spliced in with reactions from totally different episodes. They're building full arcs out of mismatched emotions and out-of-context quotes to frame it like the Jasmine drama is still fresh. These aren't classic replays. Don't get it twisted. This isn't last season on 90 Day Fiancé. This is Frankenstein storytelling. Let's say Jasmine once yelled at Gino for texting an ex back in Panama. That raw footage gets sliced and paired with a clip of Gino looking frozen from a completely different season, even a different storyline entirely. Stir in some nostalgic B-roll, add cracked audio from an older fight, and overlay a new teaser voiceover, and boom, instant new conflict. If you're a casual viewer, you won't notice the continuity gaps. Hand gestures won't match, haircuts won't line up, lighting will look slightly off, but the emotions will hit. And TLC knows our brains fill in blanks. That most people won't freeze frame check Jasmine's earrings to figure out if the timeline is real. They're selling recycled tension as new storyline. And Jasmine? She's not even filming. She's a digital asset now. Her reactions pulled like stock video. Her voice chopped for max impact. Her old energy packaged as if she never left. Because the illusion of chaos drives more clicks than honesty ever could. And this tactic goes beyond Jasmine. Reality producers have been using these tricks for years. But what makes this different is Jasmine no longer has a say. She's no longer in the room when her own story is being told. She's watching the show like we are, surprised, confused, and allegedly furious. Think about that. You're being portrayed as currently spiraling, and you're literally sitting at home, banned from even stepping into the studio. The manipulation is clean, quiet, and calculated. And it works because the average viewer thinks they're watching something new. They're reacting in real time to fake time. They're selling a fiction. And Jasmine? She's the headline star in a drama she's not even filming anymore. For months, fans thought Jasmine was taking a break. Maybe she needed space. Maybe she and Gino were working things out offline. Some even wondered if she was cooking up a surprise reappearance for a new season. But here's what insiders are saying now. This isn't a pause. It's not a breather. It's exile. Allegedly, the conversations behind closed doors stopped being about storyline potential and shifted to damage control. Executive-level sources described her in blunt terms. Too risky, too emotional, a liability on set. The decision wasn't mutual. It wasn't creative. It was total erasure. And it wasn't handled publicly because TLC knew exactly what kind of uproar that announcement would trigger. So instead, they made her vanish, quietly. Not from our screens, of course. Jasmine's still front and center in every recycled, retouched, retimed teaser. But from the production pipeline, she's gone. No happily ever after, no pillow talk, no specials, no tapings, no table reads, not even remote confessionals. She's out. And the way it was done? Silent and surgical. Think about the power dynamic at play here. Reality stars don't own their footage. They don't control their narrative. So when a network decides someone is more valuable as content than as a person, there's nothing they can really do. Even Jasmine, who built her brand through total transparency, letting cameras catch meltdowns most people would hide, has now lost the one thing she never filtered: her voice. Once, she was the unpredictable queen of confessionals. Now she's a hologram built from old files. And here's the part that cuts deepest. Jasmine's visibility was her lifeline. That's what fueled her brand deals, her online following, even her sense of agency. She gave the network everything. The raw, the real, the ugly cries. But now that she's no longer filming, none of that is enough to keep her included in the present. They're keeping her image visible to us, while deliberately silencing her behind the scenes. That's not editing. That's erasure in plain sight. She isn't just being hidden, she's being used. Treated like a library of emotional content to be clipped and broadcast on demand, without collaboration, compensation, or context. And when a star known for her fire is cut off, but still repackaged like she's burning up our screens each Sunday, what message does that send to the rest of the cast? What does it say about who holds the real leverage in reality TV? And yet, despite all that, she remains their most watched, most quoted star. Without a contract or a paycheck. So, if Jasmine's been scrubbed from the set, pulled from production, and digitally stitched into recycled storylines, what does that leave for Gino? The man who once spent half his airtime either sweating through arguments or whispering his way through tension is suddenly calm, careful, composed, almost curated. And that's not some miraculous personal growth arc happening off camera. That's editing. With Jasmine out of the room, TLC had two options: kill the storyline entirely, or patch together a version where Gino still looks like he's in a living, breathing relationship, without the living, breathing chaos partner. And make no mistake, Gino is still under contract, still filming, still showing up for confessionals, B-roll scenes, travel sequences, and romance check-ins. But without Jasmine in the mix, producers allegedly began building a version of Gino that fits the new sanitized timeline. Gone are the wild reactions, the awkward silences, the gaslighting accusations. Those moments have been buried or trimmed down beyond recognition. What's left is Gino Light, the safe, vaguely reactive, quiet guy who appears thoughtful when Jasmine spirals in confessionals. But remember, that confession is from 2022, and his reaction is from a scene he shot last week about ordering room service. It's TV surgery. Without Jasmine to keep the fire blazing, producers are now framing Gino as this grounded veteran figure, as if he's finally matured past the drama. But if you've watched even one season of this franchise, you know that's laughable. This isn't a redemption arc. It's a cover-up. Because think about it. If Jasmine's footage is being reused and Gino is still being filmed, then every current interaction between them is built on false timelines and unbalanced edits. He's being reshaped to look like the reasonable half in a conversation that never took place. That changes how audiences feel. It shifts sympathy. It creates a Gino-centered narrative where he seems resilient, patient, even tragic. And that reshapes the entire memory of the Jasmine-Gino dynamic. Here's the cost of network favoritism in real time. One person gets removed. The other gets remixed into a hero. Critics might say it's protecting talent. Insiders would call it liability framing. Either way, it's deliberate. TLC made a choice. They didn't just cut Jasmine out. TLC didn't just cut Jasmine out. They cut around her until even Gino became a filtered reaction emoji. Behind the scenes, the silence around Jasmine's disappearance wasn't just a network decision. It got complicated fast. Because while TLC was busy stitching her out of camera time and back into recycled chaos, other cast members were watching it all unfold in real time. And not everyone was comfortable with how it went down. Sources close to production say reactions among the cast were divided. Some relieved, some downright uneasy. A few reportedly asked not to film with Jasmine again, citing emotional unpredictability and a fear of escalation. But for others, especially those who've worked with her directly in confessionals or spin-offs, the way she was cut out raised red flags. Not just because she was gone, but because they were expected to pretend she wasn't. Some insiders claim the atmosphere on set shifted sharply after the ban. No one was told to avoid mentioning Jasmine, but it was obvious who was still safe to talk about and who wasn't. Cast members who used to openly gossip about her on Pillow Talk suddenly pivoted to safer topics. Comments that used to be witty roasts got edited out. Others say their confessionals were re-recorded to remove direct responses to Jasmine footage that was no longer part of live production. It wasn't a creative decision. It was risk management, brand assurance, corporate damage control with a smile. TLC allegedly didn't want the backlash of a hard cut or the risk of another on-set incident, so they simply pulled her contract quietly and kept the tension alive artificially. The audience still thinks Jasmine's in play. But within the franchise bubble, she's become a digital silhouette everyone is side-eyeing but not allowed to acknowledge. Now, here's where things get murkier. Some cast members began to feel they were complicit. One source said filming felt strange, like being asked to fake your side of a conversation that wasn't happening. Another castmate allegedly expressed guilt after discovering that scenes were being re-edited to keep Jasmine visible on air, even though she'd been completely removed from the team WhatsApp group, flights, and call sheets. Think about the dynamics here. You're told someone is too unstable to work with, but her footage surrounds you while you film. You're reacting to old outbursts, old drama, old clips, with camera cues that make it seem like it's happening right now. But in truth, it's long over. You're engaging with a storyline that's half real, half fabricated, and entirely controlled. And yet, no one pushes back. Why? Because when you're on a network like this, speaking against the edit is like speaking into a void. Reality stars don't own their image, their narrative, or even their context once the cameras stop rolling. TLC owns all of it. And no one, no matter how big on social media, can fight that without risking their own future appearances. Even the cast allegedly began whispering about the coldness of it all. How something just felt off watching Jasmine's tears play alongside fresh reactions while she sat in digital exile. But no one wants to rock the boat. Not when you're under contract. Not when you're hungry for spin-off spots. Inside sources say even cast members felt something was off. But no one speaks against the edit. At first, no one noticed. Or maybe they did, but only in that weird déjà vu kind of way. Like, didn't Jasmine already cry in this blue blouse? Or why does her hair suddenly jump 3 inches mid-sentence? The little glitches in the matrix that fans brushed off as bad continuity, but now the fanbase is getting louder, smarter, suspicious. Reddit threads are full of frame-by-frame breakdowns. TikTok creators are comparing confessionals across seasons, catching duplicate outfits, recycled voice clips, even identical zoom-ins that were originally aired 2 years ago. Some fans are pulling screenshots time-stamped from back in the before the 90 days era, only to find that exact footage chopped and sold as new tension in a recent trailer. It's, bluntly, a recycled drama buffet. And yet somehow it still works. The majority of casual viewers remain completely hooked. Why? Because TLC has gotten terrifyingly good at this. The edits are smooth. The jump cuts are tight. The storyline placements make emotional sense, even if they make no logical one. The illusion is seamless enough that unless you're cross-referencing hairstyles and hat colors like a forensic reality TV analyst, you'll never spot it. What fans feel is real. What they're watching, though, that's strategy. Every time a Jasmine freakout hits the timeline, people assume she's back, even though she's long gone. The edits are built to tap into the exact emotion she triggered the first time around, but stripped from its original meaning and aimed at a new target. It's a haunting feedback loop, old energy manufactured into present engagement. And TLC, dead silent. No comment, no confirmation, no denial. This lets the speculation simmer, create buzz, without ever drawing legal fire. There's no clear disclosure that the footage is old. No viewer advisory that says, this scene was originally aired in 2021, because the goal isn't honesty. It's click-throughs, comments, watch time. Confusion is not a bug here. It's a business model. Look at the results. The videos resurface. The TikToks make rounds. Fans scream in the comments thinking they're witnessing brand new meltdowns. Meanwhile, Jasmine's off contract. Add to that the odd timing of these hot new preview drops, always when viewership dips, or when a season starts lagging, and you start to see the pattern. And here's the ethical wall TLC's balancing on a razor's edge. Yes, they legally own the footage. Yes, they have the rights to air it however they see fit. But when creative storytelling becomes a method to fake reality, to manipulate context, and to present long-gone stars as current players, are we still watching entertainment? Or are we signing up for deception every Sunday night? The line between smart editing and outright manipulation is getting blurrier by the episode, because what fans are being served isn't Jasmine's actual life anymore. Fans think they're getting tea. They're getting leftovers, served cold, reheated, and labeled fresh. Jasmine Pineda was once the heartbeat of chaos in the 90-day universe. Unpredictable, magnetic, explosive. She wasn't background noise, she was the drama. And for a while, the network treated her that way. She got screen time, social buzz, and fan obsession. But now, she's been sidelined, silenced, removed from set, denied future contracts, and yet she hasn't left your screen. Not really. TLC is still airing her breakdowns, her battles, her biggest emotional detonations, using old footage, mixed with new context, stitched wherever the ratings need a little push. She's banned, but still working. Ghosted, but louder than ever. Trapped in a permanent loop of outrage and heartbreak, controlled now entirely by someone else's hands. Even her absence is monetized. This isn't about one person's downfall. It's about where the power sits in reality TV, and what you give up when you sign that first contract. Networks like TLC don't just film a season, they archive your soul. Every laugh, every scream, every text you regret sending on camera turns into long-term inventory. Useful forever. Clips can be restructured, reordered, and remastered, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. Even Jasmine, with her massive fan base and viral presence, couldn't maintain control over her own story once they decided she was too much. This is where control eats consent, and it should be a giant neon warning light for every future cast member, every aspiring influencer who thinks being bold, dramatic, or deeply vulnerable on camera is the golden ticket. Because the real commodity isn't your talent or your story. It's your footage. And while it might feel like fame when the camera's pointing your way, once you're out, once you're scrubbed off the group chat and blocked from the set, that footage becomes something else. A tool. A moment mining operation. And no matter how loudly fans scream your name, how many memes you generate, your fingerprints don't belong to you anymore. That's the cost. To Jasmine, this wasn't just about being edited. She's not even being allowed back to contribute another sentence to her story. And at the same time, she's being digitally resurrected again and again to drive reaction and revenue. Imagine that. Watching your own emotional meltdowns weaponized, used as cliffhangers, while you scroll your own face on their feed with no contact, no paycheck, and no power. And all of this raises one impossible question for anyone who's ever stepped into the spotlight or wants to in the future. Who owns your truth when you've handed someone else the footage? Because if a star like Jasmine can be erased in real life while running wild on screen, still pulling ratings, still driving traffic, because if Jasmine can be erased in real life while running wild on screen, what does that say about the truth behind our reality shows? And if you thought that was shady, wait till you see what's happening with Gino, because some are saying he's being quietly groomed as the next safe franchise lead.